Hello, everybody. Welcome to quarter 4, week 2. And I am Miss Lewis. I'm your teacher for 7th grade language arts. I would like to say welcome to all of our new students who recently joined us on e-learning. And there were quite a few of you who were just recently added to this class. So welcome to 7th grade language arts on e-learning. Welcome back to some of you guys who went back to DMJ and then returned to e-learning. It's nice to have you back. And it continues to be great for those of you guys who have been on e-learning with me for the last couple of 9 weeks. It's a pleasure to finish out the rest of the school year with you. So we have a lot of exciting and important things to accomplish before the end of the school year and the next 7.5 or so weeks that we have left. First, I want to make sure that you have shared with your parent or guardian this FSA parent letter that Mr. Z asked me to publish and post last week. It was posted in updates last week. It was also posted in the week 1 folder. It is very important that you open this letter up and show it to a parent or guardian in your household. It contains information about testing dates not only for this class but for all of the subjects for e-learning students regarding the FSA, which stands for Florida Standards Assessment Test. So make sure that you share that, like I said, with someone in your household. Mr. Zickafoos will also be following up with a follow-up phone call or email, about testing, because the first test is coming up next week, and that is the Florida Standards Assessment Writing Test. And we start next Tuesday with our 6th graders. And then 7th grade goes next on Wednesday. 8th grade then e-learners are on Friday for that writing assessment test. And that writing assessment, it's been estimated, accounts for about 18% of your overall reading score. So for those of you guys who are taking that test, the writing test is next week. And Mr. Zickafoos will be contacting you about the times and where to report. I, God willing, will be giving that test next week, so I should be the person administering that to you. Provided everything goes well, I will be at school giving that test. All right, so that is important that that goes out and that gets shared with a parent, because it also has the dates for math, civics, if you're taking civics this year, and algebra, so if you're in algebra, for EOCs as well. So for your parents to plan and for you to plan and to mark your calendar for that. Speaking of marking your calendar, next Wednesday, if you are taking the FSA test, the writing test, and even if you are not, next Wednesday, April 7th at 2 p.m., the date that many of you guys have been waiting for and that I've been waiting for as well. April 7th at 2 o'clock is when we will be having our Holocaust survivor guest speaker joining us on Teams. So I did hear back from Mrs. Stein from the Jewish Federation, and she confirmed Friday afternoon that she was able to secure a Holocaust survivor to come speak to you on Tuesday, or what is it? It's actually Wednesday, I'm sorry. Wednesday the 7th at 2 p.m. And that Holocaust survivor will be doing a presentation on Teams, and she'll be doing it for all of my e-learning students. So I've invited 6th grade, 7th grade, and 8th graders to attend. You are also permitted, if you would like to invite family members in your household to join you. The only thing I ask is that you mute your microphone until the very end, and then at the end, the Holocaust survivor will give you guys time and opportunity to ask any questions. And so you'll just raise your hand, wait to be called on, and then if you have a question for the guest speaker, then you could ask the question and unmute your microphone at that time. You can keep your camera on if you would like to, because I'm sure that the speaker would like to see your face. I'm going to be doing a dry run with Mrs. Stein and our guest speaker Monday afternoon just to make sure the technology is working for all of us, and for the speaker, Mrs. Stein, and myself, and that the speaker knows what to expect, like for the presentation. And then Wednesday afternoon at 2 o'clock is when you guys will join us. So I would ask you to log on a little bit early. I'll send out some instructions before then. And if you have questions, I actually have a list of like suggested questions for survivors. If you can glance over those, or even if you have one of your own that you're thinking of, or while you're listening, if you want to jot one down, you can do that. And then the morning of April 7th, I will put out the link on updates, like right here. And then about 5 to 10 minutes early, you can actually log on Teams, mute your microphone, and wait. And then we will have our presentation. I would guess that the presentation would take 30 minutes to an hour, depending on how long the speaker wants to go or can go, and then how long the questions actually take at the end. Mrs. Lindsay will be joining us as well. So she said she will come on the Teams call, and she would like to actually say a few words. So that will be very exciting. So April 7th is the day, and I know you guys are waiting for that day, and we are very, very, very fortunate that we were able to get a Holocaust survivor to come on who would be willing and able to speak to us. It's a once in a lifetime opportunity. I hope you can join us. You can earn extra credits if you complete a reflection. There's going to be a couple reflection questions, but I won't send that out until well after that presentation. And then if you answer those questions and submit those to me, then you can earn extra credit for attending. All right. One other thing before I get to the assignments, please don't forget to go back and check the submission activity for your assignments to, number one, make sure that your assignment went through and wasn't submitted blank, and number two, to read the comments and the feedback just to see if there's something that you need to redo or correct or resubmit for more credit. Some of you guys submit things and you never look at it until progress report, and then you wonder why your grade isn't as high as it should be. And then you might have a 0 or half credit on an assignment because you don't go back and look at that submission activity comments. So please make it a habit to, like, within like a few days, to go back and take a look at those just to see. All right, this is a 4-day week this week, so you really only have school Monday through Thursday. Friday is a holiday. It's considered Good Friday, and it is an official holiday for Manatee County schools. So it's a 4-day week. We do have 3 assignments this week, and as you can probably guess, they are all about writing. I want to take a moment just to show some of the people who are new in our class the format of this folder. So this is the teacher instructional video. You should be watching this first before you complete any of your assignments. This is a video script. It's a written script, transcript of what I cover in the video. So if you miss something I say in the video, it's all here in writing, and that's a good resource to kind of look back on. And then this is the checklist for the class that if you're wondering when things are due, okay, you can kind of click on this. Because sometimes Schoology has a way of kind of distorting things, it's best to download it. So if you click this arrow like this, okay, it opens best when it's downloaded. And like this. Now that looks kind of small. So what I would do, if I were you, move this over here. See, that's only out of 34%. So you can actually make it larger. And when you do, you can see it like this. So it tells you what the week is. It tells you what your assignments are, when they're due, when we have live lessons. So it's kind of like a snapshot of the week and the learning objectives for the week. So week at a glance, basically, is what this weekly checklist is. Some people like to look over, it makes sense to look over it at the beginning of the week. Some people like to print them off and check them off as they do that. They do each assignment. It's totally up to you, but this is really good to look at. All right, so for this week, we do have 3 assignments, and as I said, they're all about writing because we do have a writing test next week, and even if you don't take the writing test, you still have to know how to write. And the 2 types of essays we write at this grade level are informative and argumentative. You just completed an informative essay, and last week we introduced the argumentative essay, and you learned about what an argumentative essay was, you read your sources, you wrote a thesis statement, now it's time to write it. So this week you're going to be writing the draft of that essay, and we're going to do it in pieces. First part is the introduction paragraph of that argumentative essay. So as I said, we learned about what an argumentative essay was. We learned that the purpose was to make our reader believe something and to take your side. And your side, your position is written as the claim found at the end of the introductory paragraph, also called a thesis statement. And that's where you have to clearly state your position, taking one side or the other of the issue. The issue is found in the prompt. The prompt that you guys had, interesting prompt, is to write to argue whether or not the racing industry should be required to use environmentally friendly fuel. Your essay must be based on ideas and information that can be found in the passage set. So you're going to have to read those sources. You had 3 sources for this essay, source 1, source 2, and source 3. They're also attached to this assignment. I'm pulling them out right now. They're attached to this assignment. So what you're going to do, and here they are, right here. So they look like this. They're attached to the bottom. And first thing you're going to do, though, is you're going to open the PowerPoint called Introduction PowerPoint for Racing Fuel Argument Essay. Read through each slide. Do not attempt to write that introduction without going through the PowerPoint, and here's why. This PowerPoint contains everything you need to know about how to write an introduction. It goes through the format. It gives you an example, and it actually gives you a model introductory paragraph. So you can model your introduction after this. That doesn't mean copy it, it just means model yours after that. And then you will write yours on a Word document or in the text box on Schoology. Just make sure you save it and give the file a name. Like I said, use the PowerPoint as a guide. Look at the example and the requirements that are given. Your introduction has to have 5 to 6 sentences long, an effective hook or grabber that captures the reader's attention, a 2-sentence bridge or background statement, a thesis statement that rewords the prompt and clearly states your position. Thesis and claim are used interchangeably, by the way. Conventions, proper conventions such as spelling, capitalization, punctuation, and grammar. This intro paragraph is worth 10 points. So everything you need is attached. Now, an extra thing I attached, which is not required, is writing the introduction, and it's a guided scaffold. That's if you're kind of stuck and you don't know like where to start or what to do. This is optional. This is not required. So you do not have to turn this in. It just kind of helps you build if you want to kind of do a rough draft before you start typing it. Some of you like to, if you type, you can kind of erase and edit as you go, but this is just an extra kind of help if you need it, and a guide if you need it. But if you go through the PowerPoint is extremely informative and it goes step by step. So don't underestimate the power of that. So go through each slide and then you can draft your introduction from there. Like I said, this topic, you're either going to love it or hate it, but it doesn't matter because you're going to get a topic, okay, that is going to be pretty obscure, and you still have to be able to write to inform or write to argue one side or the other, okay? Love it or hate it. All right, so that's introduction paragraph for argumentative essay assignment number 1. Now let's go to assignment number 2. And this is where the real work comes in and, oh, sorry, that would be, 2 is in there, should not have 2. Let's do body paragraphs, here we go. The body paragraphs for this essay are where, like I said, the real work comes in. So roll up your sleeves, take out your sources, and this is where you're gonna, put the bulk of the work in. And on any essay, that's gonna be the case. So you have your introduction, okay? Now, like I said, the body paragraph are the meat and the substance of your essay. This is where you have the proof, all right? So you have your position and someone says, okay, now prove it. Lay out your argument and prove it. Body paragraph number 1 would be the first reason, okay, that you feel, about that they should use environmentally friendly fuel, should or should not. Body paragraph 2 is your second reason. And then body paragraph 3, many of you are going to say, well, you always said we can just have 2 body paragraphs. Sure you can in an informative essay, but in an argumentative, you have to have that third paragraph because in an argumentative essay, you must have a counterclaim and a rebuttal. A counterclaim is where you address the other side meaning the opposite view of your own. Rebuttal is where then you come back with why your side or your view is superior, and you do it in a respectful way. So I've kind of helped you out with that too, and giving you some resources to learn about that, along with some words on how to do it. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take a look at this body paragraph PowerPoint for racing fuel argument essay. We're going to go through each of these slides. And I'm telling you, once again, do not do this without taking a look at the PowerPoint. It's the second to last attachment because not only do I give you the format, but I give you examples for each of the body paragraphs, along with transitions, evidence, elaboration of the evidence. So please take a look at that. You're going to refer to your sources because you cannot do this without writing from the sources. This is not information that you can make up from your head. Use the PowerPoint to guide you, like I said, along with your sources. Then, when you get ready to write that counterclaim and rebuttal, I've attached a resource right here called Claims, Counterclaims, Refutations, Rebuttals, Web. Okay, it's PDF. This is actually a PDF, and it's one of the best explanations for what a counterclaim and rebuttal are. But what I like more than anything in this, I'm going to open it up and actually show you, is that it gives you words to use. Okay. So it talks about the counterclaim, and so we already talked about what a claim was, so we know what a claim is, right? It talks about a counterclaim, which is the other side. And then a rebuttal is your comeback. This is what I like, the sentence starters for the counter argument. So these are words you can use, and you could say, some people may argue that, and that's how you can kind of start that paragraph. Those who believe say that. So these words are sentence starters for that counterclaim and rebuttal paragraph. Feel free to use them. Now, counterclaim or counterargument is their side. The rebuttal then is your comeback. So once you address their side, the rebuttal then is your side. Feel free to use one of these sentence starters then to give your reason as to why your side or your view is superior. Now notice, all of these are respectful in tone and respectfully stated. So you can use any one of these four if you choose on like how to word it. And this is only 6 slides, so that's why I like it. It's very simple, it's very to the point. And this argument is wrong because that's not rude. That's actually okay to say that. You can actually, even this last one is fine. This evidence, however, overwhelmingly supports the argument. And then put in evidence from one of the sources that you haven't used yet. So it's very important not to repeat something you've already said, but to find another piece of evidence that actually further strengthens your argument. So that's what a counterclaim is. A counterclaim is addressing the other side, and then a rebuttal is your comeback to why your side is better. You must have that in an argumentative essay. That is your last paragraph that appears after your second body paragraph and right before your conclusion. It does not have to be as long as your other body paragraphs. It can be the length of like your conclusion. So it can be like five to six sentences, maybe even 4 to 6. Is fine. Last but not least, all right, so that's actually it for the body. So that's actually 3 body paragraphs you're going to be doing for this. 2 longer ones and 1 counterclaim with rebuttal included. So that's in 1. Counterclaim and rebuttal is 1 paragraph. And then 2 body paragraphs that are formatted like Perl paragraphs. This is worth 30 points for these body paragraphs. Okay, and that's it for this. That's probably the bulk of the work for this week. The last but not least is the conclusion paragraph. Conclusion paragraph of your essay. Argumentative essay. Okay. Racing fuel essay. PowerPoint again. So because there's an example for you, okay, of a conclusion. All of these not only give you the expectation and requirements, but they also give you a model paragraph. So that's why I want you to take your time and look at it. And then it also reinforces the prompt again. So the more you hear the prompt, that actually helps you keep your focus in that essay, which you get scored in that purpose focus organization. So you have that conclusion PowerPoint. I've included that original conclusion PowerPoint for those of you guys who attended the live lesson where I did the touchback, go to the heart, the zinger or drop the mic, and look to the future. Those are different types of conclusions. I've included that one as well because some of you guys like to use those. So that is in there. And then this is actually the more traditional one with the argument essay. So both of those, use whichever one works for you and your style. I've given you the transitioning keywords and your sources. So that's all we have for this week is basically the essay draft. Next week, you'll have an opportunity to revise, edit, and submit for final scoring. This week, I'm giving you feedback, and I'll say, okay, this looks good, or this needs to be changed on your final copy. But as long as you meet the requirements and for how you'll be graded for each of these right here, okay, you will get credit for doing it this week. And then next week, I actually score it based on the rubric, just like I did for the informative. Okay, last but not least, in the folder this week, your chance for an extra credit in the writing and assessment category. Here's how you can do it. You're going to read this direction page right here. And so for this week, you're going to have to read a short story called The Fan Club by Rona Maynard. Okay, that story is attached below. And then you'll have to, yes, I don't know if you hear that noise. That's my cat Silver, and he comes alive at about this time at night. Anyway, Rona Maynard writes a short story, and then you'll call the fan club fiction. You'll read that. You'll exit out of this. You'll take a quiz. But look what I let you do this week. I will give you 2 opportunities. Okay, so you get 2 chances to take this quiz, and your highest score will count. Okay, so 2 chances for the quiz, highest score will count, and that's, did I say that? Yeah, two chances or tries. Highest score will count, but the deal is you must take it by April 4th, both chances, because it closes at 11:59. So extra credit is earned in this class little by little, week by week, and you have to take it when you can get it. All right, that's it. Last but not least in the folder are some resources. Resources for writing. citing textual evidence handout, FSA rights cheat sheet. Let me explain that. There's no such thing as a real cheat sheet, and I don't believe in cheating, but this is a resource sheet, tongue-in-cheek called a cheat sheet. What you're going to do with this, because you see how this is all skewed, you're going to have to download it like this, and this is good when you're writing no matter what. So this is basically an all-in-one sheet for writing. And it tells you about intro, body paragraphs, conclusion, gives you a list of transitions, sentence starters for evidence, explanations, and conclusion techniques. So that's not so bad, and kind of a little all-in-one for reminders and different ways to say it. And I like this. So this kind of will help you as a last minute reminder, and it's just a good writing tool and reference. Next up, in the folder we have how to write a winner, like sweet 16 tips, okay, about writing that I kind of put together for you. And you can glance over those at some point between now and next week and take a look at that. So 16 things right here to keep in mind when you write. Last but not least, our FSA writing tips from the company who created your Q1 writing assessment, Write Score. And those tips are as follows. So read them when you have time, and prior to next week's test, I'll have some more for you guys next week before you take the test if you're going to, and if not, like I said, these are just good writing tips in general for writing, and they can help you for this week, and they can help you when you do your final copy for this essay. So if you have any questions whatsoever, please feel free to message me on Schoology, email me, call me, or text me at my Google Voice number included in the teacher instructional video script, some of the last items. I look forward to seeing you on Teams this week. And if you ever need an individual conference or phone call from me, all you have to do is ask. I am here to help you at any time. Have a great week, everyone. I hope to see you on Teams. Mark your calendars for April 7th at 2 p.m. All right, take care, everyone. Stay safe, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.